Nice drum set.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that coming in. Do you play drums?
I do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's my time to drive away.
I know. I'm back. All right, welcome to another episode of Hit the Mics with Ryan D. I, of course, am Ryan D.
Yo, and I am Steve Rodgers.
That's right. And today I'm very excited. We have a very special guest. We have a musician, podcaster, life coach, former adult film star, Felicity Feline. How are you?
Hey guys, good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad you can make it.
Crowd loves it. Crowd's happy about it. We got a first time in studio audience today with Hit the Mics. Well, we're very glad you can make it. I know it was a little confusing at first, but
yeah, just weird schedules. It worked out.
Turns out we're actually neighbors. That's how weird is that?
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, no way. People say, when I tell people where I live, they're like, what? Where? Is that in LA? It's like, no, it's outside.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's, I always tell, that's why like people are like, are you born and raised in LA? I'm like, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough, but not
this
really.
is where I grew up out here. So, and Steve as well. So like, so people, I'm like, you know where Pasadena's at? It's like by there kind of.
Yeah. I just say South Pasadena.
Yeah.
Because
people
are
like,
okay. Yeah, well, you live kind of far. It's like, oh no, sorry, I just don't live in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah. Right. On the west side or whatever. God, I know it's super ridiculous. So, where are you from originally?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Wow. When did you come down here?
Man, it was like seven years ago. I just, I finished school out there, and there was really no reason for me to stay. Didn't really feel like home ever, So I just, I started going back and forth from LA to New York during my semesters off at school, just networking, getting to know the area, just kind of like starting to build connections. I sold everything I had and just moved out with a suitcase and figured it out, But
well, it's pretty bold. I mean,
yeah, really.
What was your main drive to come out here? Was it just music?
It's a mix of things. I mean, music, just environment. I feel like there was more like-minded people. There were more opportunities for me, and I just didn't really feel at home in New York. Like Long Island was a great place to grow up, but I didn't really like New York City enough to want to move there, and I definitely wasn't staying on Long Island just because there was really nothing there for me. And I just wanted to kind of start a new life and just, make money, just build.
Yeah, get away.
Yeah. I mean, I love my family, but I just kind of had to go do my own thing.
Yeah, sometimes, you got to get away from family. I mean,
sure.
It doesn't mean you don't love them. But just like, you guys are
only child?
No, I have 3 siblings.
Oh.
Yeah. So
brother, sister?
Brother, 2 sisters. We're all really close. And, we have all great relationships. Like the family thing, it really had nothing to do with me like wanting to run away from my family. I just like had to start a new life. Like there was so much crap going on, like because that was when I started to shoot adult films, and I was getting bullied and like by so many people on my hometown, and like I just wanted to get the hell out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Long Island's pretty conservative, right?
Yeah, especially like where I grew up, for sure. Yeah.
So anything like that is a no-go.
Yeah, and it was just, I needed to,
like you said, be around like-minded people. You don't need the judgment from the people that you grew up with or in the neighborhood. Like, let me just go out and do my thing. Like you said, make money.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Long Island. Like, it was a good place to grow up and, you know, represent whatever Strong
Right.
Island.
I mean, Long Island gave us Method Man.
Strong Island, which that's one of our comments, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm grateful for where I grew up, but it was just time for me to like spread my wings and start a new life.
yeah. How
You know?
old were you when you decided to just like pack up and like move to LA?
I was like 21-ish. Yeah, like it was
Yeah,
around
that's
there.
young, but that's not like too young, I think. Like, right? And did you like drop out of school and then move? Was that?
Yeah, so I was at Stony Brook University and I was studying public health and nutrition, and my mom works there.
Oh,
So I originally went to SUNY Purchase, upstate New York, and then I transferred to Stony Brook, and I had really good grades. Like, I was a good student. I just I was so there was just this point where I realized, like, whoa, I can't be here anymore. And like, you know, like I was saying, during the semesters off, I just kept going to California, and I had like so many opportunities start to open up. I'm like, you know what? I can finish online. I can do all the stuff I have to do. I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
yeah. I mean, man, it's bold, like Steve said. I couldn't do it, but like also for me, I'm just like, everything's already here, right? Like, I had a friend from Philly that drove across country to do stand up out here. And he was like, oh, yeah, driving across the country was amazing. I think everyone should do it. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm already here, man. Like,
yeah, like at that stage in my life too, like I was all over the place. I mean, I worked a lot of sales jobs where I used to work a lot of conventions.
Oh, God.
So I was traveling so much already. And I was always like flying somewhere. And like, you know, my mom and dad just, I was very ungrounded. Like, I didn't have much stability.
yeah.
And I was kind of seeking that, but like I didn't feel like I was going to get it where I was. So I realized, like, okay, like I just need to start a new life. I need to find like my own foundation. Yeah. And it just, also there was like this sense where I had to prove people, like, you know what, fuck y'all, like I'm just gonna go make my own life, and you guys will see, you know, like I'm getting out of the safety zone, I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and you're
taking a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to the Wild West, and I'm gonna go figure it out.
Me and Ryan talk about it all the time, like we don't like safe people. I mean, you got to be willing to fail and take a risk, just a giant leap. If you don't do that, you don't really know who you are as a person.
Yeah, the most frustrating person to me is somebody talking about what they want to do all the time and never actually trying to do it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's like, get that shit out of my face. I don't care. Like, I'll support you and be like, yo, I want to do this. Like, let's do it.
Do it, man.
Go.
Like,
full support. But if you just keep talking about it, after a
then-
while, it's like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing this shit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like I found there's a lot of people that, I mean, okay, like I look at it like, okay, there's got to be sheep in society. Like there's people that just want to have a safe life and structure and stability, and like that's fine.
Yeah, there's
like
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's those type of people, but like I just never thrived that way. Like I've had 9-to-5 jobs. I've had like the schedule where I was working Monday through Friday and knew what I was doing every day, and like I just felt dead inside. Like there was just it wasn't for me. Like I'm more of an entrepreneur. I'm more of a creator, you know, just someone that thinks and creates and does, you know, and you know, like, but sometimes I struggle with making a structure and keeping a schedule. Like sometimes I wake up, I'm like, okay, like I plan like each day out, you know, sometimes like I have to work on that. So I feel like there's just got to be a balance, you know, and like becoming an adult and living on my own. And I kind of got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm my own boss. So like if I don't have my shit together, no one's going to do it for me.
Right.
So I kind of grew up really fast, like when I came out here, because I'm like, okay, if like I want to live and survive and have a place to live, you know, and have a dog and save money, like I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So I did listen to your podcast. I'm sorry, Felicity Fueled podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I did listen. I'm like, I want to make sure I got that right. Yeah, I did listen to it I listened to a couple episodes. And one of the things that I was really thinking about that you talked about was exactly what you just said, was getting your shit together and being able to not become a victim of like the party lifestyle while you were out here, and being able to like really save money and utilize like just doing what you need to do to get the money, and then kind of get your life in order and do exactly what you wanted to do. And I think that's amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, so like when I moved out here, my goal was to kind of start focusing on music again, because like when I was back on Long Island, I was in bands and I loved drumming so much and DJing and making.
By the way, you're an amazing drummer. I was watching some of your videos. Yeah, I'm like, I might geek out and make you do something later. Like, she played my drums, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing since I was in 4th grade. You know, it's a big passion of mine. But like for a few years in college, like I kind of put it on the back burner because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make like a living from this. So I gotta like kind of concentrate on some other stuff. But when I like went into the adult industry, which was just a whole weird process, you know, like it just started out with like nude modeling, and then I got an offer to shoot adult video, and it happened so fast and it was so impulsive that I was so young, like I didn't really think about the consequences of what I was doing.
Would you mind like backing up and because like to me, I'm, you know, obviously it's totally outside of my realm. I have no idea what or what happens or how this, you know, how someone's introduced to getting into that. So like how exactly was that approached and all that?
I mean, to sum it up, like I guess the easiest way for me to describe it is like, you know, I was kind of a tomboy growing up, right? Like I played a lot of sports. I was a drummer, I dirt biked, like I was into motorcycles, you know, all that crap. So like I never really felt so much like a girly girl. And then as I was like starting to blossom, because I was a late bloomer, like I didn't get my period till I was 18.
Whoa.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
Seriously, like super late bloomer. So like when I started to kind of get that like attention and energy, like the feminine side, I sort of got overwhelmed. And like, you know, I was starting to like experiment with modeling and webcamming and dancing and all this stuff. And like I was actually working a car show in San Diego, and I got approached by this guy and like asked, you know, do you do like nude modeling? Do you do adult video? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, if you ever want to, like, you know, give me his card. And he offered me a lot of money like for my first video, and I just got super impulsive. Like I wanted to buy this motorcycle. But you know, like I struggle sometimes with like, do I regret that? Because if I did, you know, I probably wouldn't be like here where I am now. But it just sort of catapulted, and like after that first thing, it stuck with me because like, you know, people tend to don't forget about things like that, especially when you come from like a sort of like you said, a conservative background, conservative area, you know, and so that's kind of why also I had to leave, and I had to like go to California and like start a new life because there was just nothing but misery if I stayed, you know. So when I came out to LA, I basically got to this point where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to accept the fact that like, you know, I did porn, and I'm going to use this in my advantage because like I'm not going to try to hide it under a rock my whole life. And you know, because that's when like the bullying happened. Like when I tried to sort of put it away and think like, okay, you know, I'm just like not going to do that again, and I'll just move on with my life. People were harassing me about it, and like the bullying was unreal.
Because you tried to hide it, or I mean that makes a lot of sense to me, because like I always say, I'm like, there's no, if you can't be bullied if you have no shame, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's not even a shame thing. I think it's just like a hypocrisy that sex workers get.
Sure.
Because we all do things for money, you know, no matter what it is. Some people breathe in coal dust.
Let me get up real quick. Go ahead and
some people breathe in coal dust for 8 hours a day. You know, other people do other things, but it's just this thing that people want to feel superior by looking down on other people, and sex workers are always those people that people always look down on, and it's sad. It's sad, but mind your own fucking business. Don't worry about your life.
Exactly. I mean, like I can't really say I'm like an advocate for adult work. Like I don't like recommend people get into it, to be honest, you know, but like at the same time, like it was whatever. It was a decision. I was so young, and so I just kind of figured like I got to this crossroads where I'm like, okay, I could embrace this and own it. And say, you know what, fuck you guys, like I don't really care what you think, like I'm gonna go do it and own it and make the most of this. And so that's what I did. But it kind of meant like it kind of meant like leaving everything sort of behind and just going full force. And so when I moved out to LA, I got a lot of work and I was busy, and I just kind of built this sort of what's the word, I guess just this, I don't want to say like, just I built this sort of new life, you know, where I felt like confident in, and just created like a new threshold of people to support me, and like it just felt like I found my home, and I felt safe out in California. Like there was just so much more opportunity here, and that doesn't happen for everyone. Like some people move out and they're like, fuck, I don't know what to do, but I was fortunate because like I had built a lot of connections already. But my goal was to basically like utilize adult until I was stable enough in other areas where I didn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because like I knew it wasn't my goal to like work in that. It happened.
You just used it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what happened.
So getting out of that and then doing music again, like, can you get into that whole transitional period of like, I mean, I don't want to say trying to like drive, because you're a big advocate of like just embracing what you've done already and then trying to continue on, and like that's not what you want to be branded as. So like, how do you try and compartmentalize all these different things, like something you're known for and something you're trying to be known for? You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess I just kind of got to the point where it's like, I'm kind of just a multifaceted entertainer, like, and music was always such a passion. But like what happened, actually, I was pretty lucky because like when I moved out here, I mean, I was kind of like struggling in the beginning, like just saving money. And actually my license was revoked when I moved out to California. Like I had lost my license in New York because of this motorcycle incident. So the first like 10 grand I made, I had to pay to the DMV. So like literally it was fucking terrible, and like I was just crashing on like my friends' couches and like living out of a suitcase. Like, man, it was a struggle, but I just kept like knowing I know what I want. I'm going to get there. Like I'm going to get stability. So I just kind of kept grinding and kept saving money. And then, I got my license back out here to get a brand new license out in California. Had to retake all my driver's tests. Like, it was so annoying, but like, I just was so determined to kind of get my shit together.
Yeah.
And from there, I was living with a friend, like renting a room out at one point. And then I jammed with one of my friends because I used to go to this studio, like Amp in
North Hollywood.
Yeah, I used to go there. Like I lived in Woodland Hills for the first few years. Yeesh. And I had no car yet, like the first year. So I would walk to the Orange Line, like at the Warner Center in Woodland Hills. I'd walk like a mile there, get on the bus, go to Amp, just practice and by myself. And then I would, take the bus back and walk back home. And like, I just did that religiously. It kind of got my chops up, and then jammed with my friend. And he was living in this house in Woodland Hills. It was kind of like this really cool mansion. And the landlord was this old guy from the Bronx named Tommy. And he was so cool. And he basically offered me a room after like the first day I met him. Cause I told him like, hey, like you have any like extra rooms in here, you know?
Yeah.
And cause he had a drum set, he had like every fucking instrument you could imagine, like in his house.
And he offered you a room?
Yeah. But it was in the attic. It was in the attic.
Still.
I'm not a lady, but like if I met some dude and he's like, oh yeah, you can move into the attic. Like, bro, no, I'm gonna get murdered. Thanks, but no thanks. I appreciate the offer.
But I mean, like at that point in my life, like I was so just like living out of the seat of my pants. Like I was just like, okay.
But also living in LA, getting any fucking room. I mean,
yeah, but
you'll take anything.
For the first like 6 months, he it was more like 7 months, 8 months, like a little under a year. He let me live in the attic for free as long as I cleaned the house, I did the dishes, and I made him hash. So I lived in this fucking house.
I mean, that sounds like a great deal, but it still sounds sketchy. I mean, you're here, you're alive. So
it sounds weird, but like that's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great, but like, I'm like 21, 22 and just,
fuck it.
But like I just saved my fucking money and I practiced every day, like at this house, and I became good friends with everyone in the house. And I mean, I couldn't even stand up in the attic. It was literally like this. It was like 5 feet and a bed and a skylight. And
you're like Harry Potter living under the stairs.
Seriously, like it no air conditioning. Like it was so fucking hot, but whatever. I was like grin and bear it, I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I know what it's like to have nothing, you know what I mean? And just kind of like being at really the bottom, but I was so determined, like I was going to get to where I wanted. So I just saved my money. And then eventually like, I found a guest house that was like a mile away. I moved all my stuff in there. I lived there for like a year, and then I joined a couple of bands. I started playing more, you know, and then it just kind of all happened after that. Then like I moved again into another house in Sherman Oaks, and I split a house with my roommate then, and he was a pianist, and like I got a new drum set, and like it was just everything kind of evolved, but like it just started getting like better and better, more stable, you know. And then I mean, so like that's kind of how I got really back into drumming. And I was in this metal band for like 2.5 years, and then I recently quit them. Like
that's the one that we saw at that was the Solar Haze
TC.
That
what
was it? Fucking, what was the name?
TC Boyles, right?
No, it's T Boyles.
T-Boyles.
No. It was at Kings Row.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We were Ancient Fears.
Ancient Fears. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was with them for a while, and like they were like my best friends. We were like a family, you know. But it's just I was kind of outgrowing them, and like nothing against them. It's just I was kind of going a different direction, and it was taking too long to like finish this EP, and they were all broke, and it was just like
that's what's always hard about, like, I mean, I've been in a few bands myself too, but it's like now at this point, you know, I play just for fun, you know, and I was doing the whole Hollywood thing for a long time, you know, trying to be in a band and stuff up until I started doing stand up, and then I was like, well, fuck this. I can make money by myself.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna worry about anyone
like, I don't have to
else.
worry about anybody else's ego or schedule. I could just do this on my own. So
totally.
So that's eventually my singer gave me like an ultimatum, and that's where I was like, okay, well, I'm out. Like,
yeah.
But no, I get it. I mean, it's like, it's so hard with so many different people and so many different attitudes and so many, it's so difficult to find like a core group of people you can work with.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was great for a while. It's just, you know, I was starting to get like offers from different bands, and I don't know, I just felt like as a drummer, because we were like a doom metal band. It wasn't exactly what I really wanted to play. Like, you know, because my background is kind of psychedelic rock, and then I got really into like groove metal over the past years, and I just like it to kind of be a fusion of different things, but I wanted to play like a little more fast and progressive, you know, like Opeth is one of my favorite bands, you know, and like, I guess my style of drumming is very, I have like a very rudimental background. So like, I like to incorporate like weird time signatures and just things, you know, that like, I felt like I was kind of outgrowing what they were trying to do. And so, you know, I left, and then the day after I quit, the recording artist, the engineer that did our single, he had asked me, like, when we were in the studio, like, hey, Felicity, do you ever play with other bands? And I said, yeah, I mean, just let me know, you know, because he was in this older band, Distorted Pony. They were like this old psych rock band, and they stopped playing together after recording an album with Steve Albini. They broke up, and they were doing really good. Like, they were opening up for Nirvana and like Jane's Addiction and, you know, these now huge bands, but they would have totally been huge, I bet, you know, if they didn't break up. And so he asked if I could learn like 13 songs in a month, because they were doing this like little festival in Texas where their singer is. And I said, yeah, let's do it, you know? And so I got that gig, and like, it just kind of, I don't know, like, musically, I just sort of kept pushing myself and putting myself in different situations, you know. And then I got more into producing electronic music, like on Ableton. You know, I love doing that, and just more DJing and stuff. So like, I love music, and if I can make a living from it and like make money from it, great. But I'm also realistic about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why working in the adult industry was kind of, it was feasible, because like I was able to have a super flexible schedule and make money that like was good money, you know, but like I didn't have to commit to like a job really, you know? So it worked for what it was. And now like I can kind of just be my own boss and make my own schedule. So I'm, you know, and just focus more on nutrition and like doing that stuff. So.
Yeah. So where does the life coach come in? Like the life coaching?
So it's actually, I finished an online program. So like I'm a certified nutrition counselor now, you know?
Okay.
So it's great because like now I can professionally like see clients for nutrition, and, you know, there's like aspects of life coaching too. And I guess in it, but, you know, I've had like my own journey in health and nutrition with my own body and like my own health issues. So like I just love the fact that like I could help other people reach their optimal level of self. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. So I just always wanted to work, and honestly, like one of my biggest like passions is helping other people like feel healthier and good about themselves, you know? So it doesn't even feel like work when I do that. I love it, you know? And then I almost have my yoga certification done so I can teach yoga. And then I'll have my personal fitness trainer certification done too in the next couple of months. So I've just been using COVID to like
do everything. Exactly. Absolutely.
Just hammer out these like online certifications. It's hard. They're really hard, but I mean, it's whatever. Like I have the time to do it now, you know? So
yeah. It's just I'm like, man, everything you tell me right now, like I'm like, man, I'm so unmotivated. Like you're knocking it out of the park with everything you're doing, but I don't I think one of the things that the life coaching thing that we were talking about was it's like I'm noticing like a lot on your like doing your podcast and doing like your Instagram videos and your like YouTube videos. There's a lot of just like real genuine honesty, and I think that's what's important for anybody actually like watching or listening to anybody, you know what I mean? It's just being honest with your feelings and you know thoughts and stuff, you know what I mean, which is like, I mean, not to, I guess maybe I'm comparing the two, but like that's why I love talking and hanging out with comedians and stuff, because like I mean we can sit here and joke about our trauma like all night long, you know what I mean?
But you're still talking
about it and engaging it, you know, and embracing it.
And I think some of the funniest comedians are the ones that can make fun of themselves, and you know they're comfortable doing that because like people can relate, you know. Like I feel like that's the whole thing, you know. I got to a point where it's like I have nothing to prove. Like I have nothing to prove to anyone. Like I am who I am. I'm living my life. I'm not trying to win people over. Like I'm just speaking from my heart. If people like it, great. You know, if they don't, like, okay. You know, I'm not trying to force anyone to feel a certain way or do things. Like I just kind of like to create positive reinforcement for people and just, you know, opportunities for people to kind of like live a better life. Like that's all I really want, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's just so much like negativity in the world already. Like I don't really want to add to it, you know? And
especially now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's also for me, I don't know. I'm obviously guilty of it. Like, but like, I can't stand hanging out with people who complain all the time. You know what I mean? Like especially when it's like, when it's easy easy solutions, or when you're trying to help and it's always just an excuse after an excuse of like why I can't do what you're telling me to do.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally. And you know, okay, like coming from New York, this is one thing I've noticed a lot. I mean, not just because I'm from New York, you know, but I guess the way I was raised too. My family is very like motivated and high energy, and it's competitive, you know, and like I was an athlete my whole life, and I grew up in a very competitive household, like a lot of love, a lot of fun, but it was super competitive. And I kind of just realized like there's no point for me to complain. Like even as a kid, you know, we were never spoiled or told,
hold up.
Lemmy's out. How did he get out?
I don't know. Probably let him, but I'll put him back inside just in case we don't have anything.
Oh, he's so cute.
But what were you saying? I'm sorry. Like that threw me off.
He's so cute. I love bulldogs. But yeah,
being competitive.
Yeah, I think just like, but you know, with sports, like I was a really good soccer player. Like I probably could have went somewhere with soccer, but I just varsity in high school, I just it was no longer enjoyable for me. At a certain point, like I got on too competitive of a team. Outside school, and I just started to hate it. But like that sort of competitive nature like always stayed with me, but like in a way where it's like I want everyone to win. Like I want just it to be a positive environment. Like I want people to just be comfortable and be able to be themselves, and that's like the vibe I always try to create, I guess. So in life, I just find like when people just complain about shit, it's just not helping at all. Like I think it's rather better to like look at the problem.
And I feel like it's some of the time when the people who just complain is very like self-masturbatory. Like you just want people to feel sorry for you and just tell you, oh, it's going to be okay, instead of like basically putting a foot in your ass. Like, this is your problem. These are your solutions to fix these problems. So like, let's get on it and let's do that. Like, I'll help you out. I'll be here. But they don't, like what Ryan was saying, they don't. They just want to complain. Like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do this. And it's like, then stop complaining and just be happy with the life that you're content with living right now.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, and like I remember my grandma would always my grandma and I were really close growing up, and she would always tell me like you're your own worst enemy, you know, because like I have a lot of inner fire, and when I was younger I was super impulsive and just impatient and reckless, like in a lot of different ways, and it took me years to really like harness that energy and put it into endeavors and things that were actually going to benefit me, you know. But like it took a lot of like willpower and inner reflection and a lot of like looking at myself and like seeing, okay, like what are my flaws and what are things that like I have to work on, and admitting to myself that like I can't do this anymore, like this is a problem. And you know, I would have these like self-talks that were really intense in a way, like, but I feel like a lot of people don't want to do the work to like do that inner reflection.
Yeah, it's hard.
They just want to be like, oh, like fuck it, whatever, you know, like I don't want to deal with this shit, you know. It's just like, well, you're never gonna progress as a human being, like unless you look at yourself and think like, okay, what do I have to work on, and am I willing to put in that effort to get where I want? If you are, great. If you're not, just stop complaining.
Exactly. Like, you know, one of the things you brought up, and me and Ryan always have these talks like off air, you're bringing up your competitiveness, because I was the same way. I played sports growing up, football, wrestling, all these things like that. And if you weren't good enough, you had to try harder. Every like making the team, starting. Can you
just pull the mic down a little bit more downward, because you got to talk right into
Okay.
Hold on. I'll get it. There we go.
Okay.
Anything like that, like you had to work on your own because you're your own player, like you playing soccer, like to get that level, even like varsity, high school, college, whatever, like you have to work hard and you can't make excuses because you're just going to get cut, held back, or anything like that. And you know, that for me is what I took from sports that I try to apply to a lot of things in my life. It's just like, get down on myself if things are bad, but you know what you have to do to get out of this. You know, and I think a lot of people don't have that. I don't want to say it's not because they played sports, but I think a lot of people are just lacking that. Any kind, I don't know if they didn't have any kind of like adversity growing up, or they just had everything handed to them, so they're not used to it. Like I don't.
You know what? And you know what's weird is I actually, I don't know if this is the reason or not, but I take a lot of my self-reflection like and like self-healing and stuff. I think about it because I had like poisonous relationships of people pointing out my flaws. You know what I mean? And I don't know, you know, whether for better or for worse, those were certain things that made me realize, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be acting this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so maybe some people just never have that, to be, like have to be told that they're being terrible.
No, because they just say like, oh, they're haters, or whatever, you know, they were crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's that blind ignorance that a lot of people really like live with. And
willful ignorance.
Yeah, exactly.
Willful ignorance.
Totally. I mean, it's unfortunate, like when people grow up. I mean, because like, yeah, childhood definitely has something to do with it, you know. And I was fortunate, like I had a great childhood, a great family, but like, you know, my parents were extremely competitive and like a little, you know, they like never relaxed, you know. And like, I mean, we did a lot of like fun family trips and fun family things, but like they were very much they were always just like stay busy, do things, you know. And like I'm happy that I was that way, but sometimes like as an adult, I just like, I always have to be doing something. Like I always, like, I don't know how to sometimes just like not do something, you know, which is a good thing, but it's also some like, that's why I really got into yoga, because like I needed to kind of channel like a more restorative, calm energy, like that, to kind of bring me back and like balance out my fire, you know, because sometimes like I'll just go and go and go and go, and then I burn myself out. You know, so like I'm definitely not perfect, and like I have like a lot of things that I work on continuously, but I've just like developed a big awareness of myself. Like I know what I have to work on, and I know like things that I constantly have to be like in tune with, because I am my own worst enemy. You know, and I think that's just like how people should see it. Like they should just like not look at it as like, oh, I'm a failure or I'm not good enough. It's like, no, like you are, and everyone has like the ability to be the best person they can be, but you have to like have awareness of what you should work on and what your potential flaws are, you know, and like how can I make those better?
Yeah. But also don't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail. Number one, inevitable.
Number one,
you're gonna fall flat on your face and fail when you try something.
I mean, again, not to bring it all back to stand up, all like I keep doing, but it's like that's why I encourage people. I encourage people to like try and do an open mic. I'm like, because that humbling feeling of just eating shit in front of people when you think you're funny is like that is a real it's you become self-aware really fast.
Yeah, I mean, comedy, oh man, like I give so many comedians credit because like that is, you know, at least like as a musician, you're using the instrument, like, you know, you have something that you're working off of.
You have something to blame.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I played so many shows where like, you know, something technical goes wrong and it's like, well, that's why we sounded like shit, you know. But or like whatever, you know, like I fuck up at a show, like, okay, I fucked up, you know, I dropped my sticks, like whatever, like it happens, you know. But you live and learn. But like a comedian, like if you tank or you freeze or like something happens, like you are there and vulnerable and
and you got to live in it.
Yeah, and I'm like,
but not all comedians like just blame it on themselves. Some like, oh, that fucking crowd sucked. Yeah, or there's still those assholes that make up excuses.
Well, here's the thing: is sometimes it is that way for real. It really is, and you can't just. But that, I mean, you know, I'm like, there's been times definitely for me where I've been like, okay, I just did the exact same set 2 shows in a row, and then the late show really hated it, and I did it the exact same way.
Yeah,
and I'm like, maybe that just wasn't my crowd. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think it's like energy too, you know. I mean,
that too. Yeah.
If you're not feeling it like 100%, like it can show, you know. And like sometimes if you're not like putting out your best vibe, like the audience feels it, and you know, I mean, it's I guess it's like that with any entertainment. I mean, and it sucks because like sometimes, and I mean, I can relate to this in a way because like.
I forget I live by an airport, so here comes a helicopter.
Oh yeah, the El Monte Airport.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid of being vulnerable. Like that's a big thing. Like they're afraid to kind of expose themselves and to be in a position where they're going to get judged. Yeah. And I mean, I've never really been afraid of that, like entirely. I mean, certain aspects of my life, sure, but like. I've found that like the only way I'm going to grow and learn is to put myself in situations where I am vulnerable and I'm uncomfortable. And I mean, the adult industry was like, it was definitely like that for me, you know, because like I put myself in a lot of vulnerable positions where, you know, later on, like the world can see it, you know, and everyone's judging me, you know, so like that was. Sometimes that's like hard to stomach, but it like taught me to really be thick-skinned and to just be comfortable with who I am as a person, you know. But there's definitely things that like I wish I could take back, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why did I do that? You know, it's like it was not worth the money, you know.
Yeah.
And I made like a couple of YouTube videos that they did like pretty well as far as like engagement and just about like things people should know before getting into the adult industry and like. Scenes that I really kind of regretted, and I wish that like people should think twice before they do something on camera that's going to be out there. Because like, you know, maybe you just do that in your own privacy, like you don't have to show it to the world, you know, because like later on you might really regret it. And you know, so just like things to think about, I guess. Like
I mean, it's smart. I mean, just like you said, letting people know what they're in for, like because everyone has a
like people who dress like dogs and wear tails and stuff. I don't think everyone needs to know that. I don't know. That's like, you know, that stuff that they put on like TLC and shit. People who dress like, you know, they dress like horses and pull.
Sometimes,
sometimes maybe not let the world know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's like the same thing. Okay, like if you're in an argument with someone and you know you love them. And you care about this person, but then you just lose your temper and like you say shit that you really wish you didn't say, and like, but you're so heated and you're not.
Why are you looking at me?
We've had these talks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you've gotten better.
You're speaking like, exactly my language right now. I know.
Yeah, I mean, and this is coming from someone that like I I have the ability to be a hothead. Like I definitely can get, I used to have a really bad temper, like when I was in high school, and I had a lot of anger issues, but they were all coming from like my own insecurities, you know? And it took me, that was like the turning point, I think, in my life, like maturity, because I realized like, okay, the way I'm acting out towards people and like being, you know, mean and yelling and violent and like all this stuff that I was doing, being all defiant, it was because like I was insecure in my own skin. And so like when I kind of accepted that, like, okay, I need to like be in love with myself. And as soon as like I kind of went on that inner journey in a sense, which was, you know, work, but that's when I kind of like freed myself of all that anger, like, you know, all that built up tension and like the animosity I was like constantly holding towards.
But it's also, I think it's also shaking yourself of people who bring that out of you too, right? Yes, like there's a lot of negative people who love keeping you like, you know, love pointing out your flaws because they know that's how they can keep you in check and keep you.
Well, also deflecting from their own insecurities and projection, like you were saying, you know?
Oh my God, yes. I mean, like today I just posted, I just posted something about that, where it's like a lot of bullies and people that are insecure about themselves, they will completely project their own issues onto you. Yeah. Like even if like, okay, you're in a relationship with someone and every time like you kind of get into an argument, they say things to really bring you down that aren't even really relevant, but like they'll go out of their way to say something because like they're just trying to project their issues onto you. And they don't want to just be like, hey, I'm really like, I'm sorry, I'm just really angry right now because XYZ. Like they can't admit that they're struggling with something. So
I would not know anything about what you're talking about.
I mean, you know, I don't know. Like when I've been in a few like gnarly relationships where, you know, there was a lot of guilt and shame, like things that were like put out to just bring me down and like stifle my love of life because they were just miserable, you know. And the thing I really struggled with is like I really want to fix people. And like that's something I have to stop because it's like I'm not responsible for fixing someone. Like you can help them and you can do the right thing and hope that like they learn from that. But
we have a live comment actually.
But you can't change anyone.
We have a comment from our friend and rapper Scribble. He said,
Scribble.
Jesus, he said, I once broke a kid's arm just because he had a mullet in 4th grade.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you don't realize the psychology of the moment. It takes time and lots of life experiences to see the truth.
Jesus, dude.
Jesus, man. Totally.
I hope you.
Did your dad like give you a mullet when you were in 1st grade and you're just holding on to
mullets.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Seeing that kid in 4th grade reminded you of your parents forcing you to get that haircut.
He's like, God damn, my Uncle Jimmy always had a mullet and cigarettes and he smacked me around. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I feel like a lot of kids there's, you know, a lot of bullying happens, especially now, oh my God, with like social media and the internet and like, but a lot of kids, like they're going through their issues, you know, but I mean, fortunately, when I was a kid, like there was only one period of my life where I like kind of bullied someone. And I remember it was this girl in middle school and she played the flute and, she was really overweight.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, she was really overweight and like she was really round.
Yeah.
And I used to call her Meatball. And I felt like looking back, like she was really insecure and sad. And like, and I just like, I remember like she made a couple comments and like, so I would just kept calling her like, you're a fucking meatball, you know? And like, I would just say this shit. And one day after class, she hit me in the nose with her flute case.
Oh shit.
And I started, I don't think my nose broke, but like it was gushing blood and it hurt so bad. And I started crying. I'm like, oh my God. And then she's just like,
talking shit.
She's like, stop bullying people. Like, she's like, you don't realize you know, you have the power, like stop bullying. And I remember like, I went to the nurse's office and she told me what happened. And I told her what happened. And like, I just sat there thinking like, wow, she's right. Like she's right.
Yeah.
And after that, like the next day I went up to her and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, you're right. I've been being a bully and this is no way to like be, you know? And after that, I never wanted to bully anyone again. You know?
Sometimes it takes that. Like we've met dudes before where like, this guy's never really been punched in the mouth before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like giving him a pass, but like he's a giant.
You know what's funny is actually that's sort of how I met one of my best friends. He hit me in the face with a book. My friend Paul.
Paul,
He made my nose bleed at school, and then he apologized and felt really bad about it, and then we became really good friends.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like reality hits you in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like putting your fucking ego in check, you know? And that's something actually I think is a really important thing, like especially like nowadays, because there's so much like narcissism in the world, like with social media, and like everyone thinks they're important. And I mean, this is something like there's been points like I've struggled with this a little bit, you know, and I had to really like put my fucking ego in check and realize like, okay, I need to be humble. Like no matter where I am in life, no matter what happens in the future, no matter how much money I make, no matter what I'm doing, like I have to always be humble. And like that's kind of like my mantra. And because anytime like I've gotten full of myself or like, you know, my ego gets the best of me, something fucking happens.
Yeah.
And like it's like karma or the universe just like slaps me
it's
in the face.
It's the other shoe.
Yeah, you know, like
the pendulum swinging back.
Absolutely. But there's also look, I was just, it's funny you brought this up because I was just thinking about this a lot too recently. I was just like, man, I was kind of a shitty kid. Like there's a lot of stuff I think about that I mean at least to other kids, like kids can be fucking terrible, right? But then you live and you learn and you grow, and like that's what's important, right? Like there's so many people that we meet or see, especially in this like era right now, who like refuse, like they're just like, this is the way I am.
Oh yeah,
and they refuse to like, you know, and it's like
I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, you have
so
to think
this is
that's
just me.
That's just not cool. Like like the refusal to change and adapt and realize that you aren't always right. You know, like
totally. I mean, well, yeah, like you said it, adapt, like adaptability. That's huge. And like it goes back to the whole, like, you know, people don't want to do the inner work. Like they don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to admit that they have issues, or like, you know, or they do, they say, like, you know, like, well, whatever, like I like to drink soda, it tastes good, you know, but then then okay,
I got the diabetes.
I got diabetes. I don't know why.
How did this happen?
Yeah, and then like, you know, they're complaining like that they have diabetes. It's like, okay, well, you've been drinking soda your whole fucking life and you've been eating like shit. So
remember when you went to the doctor and they said you were pre-diabetic?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything?
Now you're post-diabetic.
Yeah, you're about to lose a toe.
Yeah, like it shouldn't take it getting to a point for you to realize that like there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that's what happens to a lot of addicts and like people that are alcoholics and all that. You know, it takes something so drastic to like hit you in the face, be like, whoa, I have a problem.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's unfortunate. But like sometimes it's hard for me to like really feel sympathy for those people, because it's like, you know, you do it to yourself, you know, and especially like the worst is, and I think I posted something about this recently, like people that grow up spoiled.
Oh yeah.
And they just get everything they want in life, and then like they become an adult and they just take everything for granted, and like they don't appreciate anything.
Just expect everything.
Like those are the worst people, you know. And it's just like, if you're it's a blessing if you grow up like and are fortunate to have a good life, like that's great, but like you should be a good person because of that, like you know, you should want to like help other people.
But it's free and easy.
Like, be a good person. That has a lot to do with their upbringing though too. Like, you know, totally. It's like, you know, like for me, I don't know, I didn't have much growing up, but like I feel blessed for what I had. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I feel like, but that's because I also have a great relationship with my family, my parents and stuff. So like, it's not I don't take anything for granted because of that, right? But like I think there's some sort of correlation between like those people who grew up spoiled and they still hate they probably hate their parents too, right? Like it's kind of there's a direct relationship because they never had that kind of close relationship with whoever was around them while they were at that, and they were just given things just to shut them up. Yeah,
absolutely. And like a lot of times it's like they didn't really have like a strong emotional connection, you know, and like didn't really like instead I'm sure like their parents were just like, oh well, you know, do this, or like, you know, take this money, or have this, like you know, which is really sad. But like I don't know, I guess
there's a lot of guys like that. Like I used to have these guy friends that like get weirded out. Be like, all right, man, love you. Talk to you later. Like,
yeah.
fuck?
I know.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Love me?
I know.
Like, look at this fucking weirdo. Like,
yeah,
yo, bro, like, it's not that big of a deal.
I know. I had a guy get weirded out because I hugged him.
Yeah.
Because I'm a hugger. I'm like, hey, all right, man, I'll see you later. And I gave him a hug. He's like, he got all weirded out. Like,
what are you, gay? I'm like, no, it's gay that you won't hug me.
I know.
Yeah. Like, what are you?
It's gay that you won't tell me I love you.
I'm like, all right, fine. When you get in a car accident, think about how you treated me right now.
I'm the same way. Like, I you know, I love to display like appreciation and affection for people because it's like, you know what the fuck? Life is short. You know, like if you care about someone, like why wouldn't you want them to know? You know, like why wouldn't you want to express that?
Because like no day is promised. Like what if that person dies? Then what? You're gonna live with regret. Man, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have did that. Like fuck it, just do it.
And that's why every time, I mean, I don't know if you guys are like this too. It's like every time I go on a trip, I always make it a note to like hang out with all like most, you know, my immediate family at least before if I'm gonna go somewhere for a couple days. Even if it's driving, flying, whatever, I'll be gone. I'll be gone. Like I want to make sure I see everybody before I go, just in case. You know.
I was telling you, we had to get on my uncle about that because my uncle, he's like in his 70s.
Yeah.
And he's got money, so he goes on trips all the time outside of the country. Well, not now, but he used to all the time. But he wouldn't tell us, and he lives alone. And so we'd be trying to call him up. We can't get a hold of him. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, oh, yeah, I was just in Brazil. And it's like, motherfucker, you need to tell us when you're leaving the country. Like, you need to tell us these things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, I know what I'm doing.
I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, so like when I kind of moved out to LA and, you know, I was very like considered myself like lone wolf, you know, I don't fucking need anyone. Like I'm my own person. Like I was in this kind of very just like,
I feel like everyone in their early 20s goes through something like that.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. You know, but like, I guess it kind of hit me really hard at certain points, but I remember like looking back at some like my blog entries and like I would just write all the time. I crave connection. Like that's what I really wanted. Like I wanted connection so bad. Yeah. You know, and I feel like a lot of people, that is what they want. You know, and like social media has kind of like distracted people from the real connection that like actually exists in relationships.
Yes, but I think it also comes back to what you were saying. I think people are afraid to be vulnerable and ask for that help or look and ask for that connection.
100%. Like I just watched The Social Dilemma, that documentary.
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it.
You gotta watch it. It was so good. It was so on point. Like everything they were saying, and like it was everyone like the tech guys from like Facebook and Twitter, and they just were talking about how like when they developed all these social media platforms, they didn't like have bad intentions, but like now like they don't even let their kids use it because like they see like the detriment it's caused like society, and you know, it's just that shit makes me sad, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's kind of strange, like because if I weren't trying to be like in the spotlight per se, like I wouldn't even have it probably. Like I would have deleted them a long time. It's because it's caused more harm than anything in my life.
Totally.
And I use Facebook a lot for networking, you know, especially with podcasting and comedy and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. Also, I guess I date terrible people. Social media is just always just like it's always a fiery pit of just madness all the time, and it's always like an excuse for fights too.
No, totally. I mean, I've had a weird like relationship with social media because it's like, you know, I need it like as a tool. Like I do. I need it like to get work, to promote myself, to promote the bands, to promote music, all that shit. Like it's an important aspect like of my professional life. But at the same time, like I really try to kind of have a separation from it where like, you know, I'll do posts, I'll do certain things, but then I'm like off. Like I don't spend hours scrolling and looking at other people's shit. Like, I mean, that's one thing like actually I'm probably ignorant about. Like I don't really like look at other people's stuff very often.
Well, you're not on TikTok.
Well, no, I'm not on that. But also I had like a pretty hard lesson that I learned like almost 2 years ago. Was I had an old Instagram that I got like, I was at like 120,000 followers, and it took me years to build that. Like it took a long fucking time. It was like kind of at like, you know, I was like peaking like from the adult, and I got a bunch of followers from that and like all this shit. And I made this post with my bandmates about like dick pics because I was so sick of getting them in my inbox.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a funny skit. Like I was fully clothed. We were hiking and I just did this monologue about like, you know, how stupid it is when like guys send girls dick pics.
Yeah.
And it was a joke. Like it was complete sarcasm.
Yeah. And how many more dick pics did you get?
Oh, well, I fucked up by putting the hashtag dick pics.
Oh.
In like the description because like my bandmate was like, oh, you should do that, it'd be funny.
Yeah,
but that flagged Instagram, I guess. And like I already had gotten like some posts removed, you know. But like almost all my posts were videos, like they were compilation videos and like funny stuff, you know. I mean, some of it was maybe like too sexy stuff, you know, like at that time, but like I was trying to like not always post stuff like that. But anyway, I lost my Instagram. Like I remember I posted it that night. I tried logging in the next day and it wouldn't let me log in. And I'm like, I'm like, oh shit. And it said like your account has been removed for violating our standards.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? You know, and I was like freaking out. I remember like my heart was pounding and I'm like, no, because I was getting like paid to do product endorsements and like post and you know, it was a job for me. Like I needed my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out and I tried for literally months to get my Instagram back. And I remember like that day I called all like my friends and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like I lost my Instagram. And like people were like texting me saying like, where are you on Instagram? Like, and I got to this point, like I went hiking and I'm like, why am I so freaking out about this? Like this is a social media. Like this isn't my life. Like, I'm like having a panic attack about this. And I had to really like put myself in check. I'm like, why am I letting this like occupy my life so much? But I never got it back. And I had this backup account with like 10K that got deleted like almost immediately after I started using it. So I got like blacklisted on Instagram.
Holy jeez.
So now I have to have
for hashtag dick pics.
Yeah. I mean, like who the fuck knows,
Strange.
You know, like they could have been going through my DMs. They could have been doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah, they could.
You know what's crazy? You got banned for putting hashtag dick pics, but all the dudes who are just sending you dick pics still out there just throwing dick pics to people.
Out there just fucking slanging dick pics.
I know, like
crazy.
It was unbelievable.
Fucking dick bandits.
Yeah.
I think it was a mix of things though. It was like the more I thought about it, because I was like pretty good at like kind of hacking algorithms and like I would know like when to post things and like when to go live, like when like I just like I had a few friends that like worked in the tech industry that would like give me all these tips.
Yeah.
And so I was really like doing that and it was helping my growth a lot. And I think Instagram, when they see accounts that don't pay like for advertisement, like they don't work with them and they see that these accounts are just like growing organically, they want to like shut those accounts down.
That makes sense.
Because
that makes
like
a lot of sense.
they want you to go work with them, you know, like Kim Kardashian will like, you know, gets paid a bunch of money to like post stuff for Instagram.
Yeah.
So
their cut.
It could have been like a mix of reasons, but you know, now I just have a private account and like I just kind of like stopped giving a fuck about that. You know, I mean, like Twitter's my main thing, and
that me too. I love Twitter.
Yeah,
like Twitter's a lot of fun.
All right, we have a few more minutes left. One of the last things I wanted to talk about was like, okay, what's it like to be somebody like you and then to date in LA?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, like, I didn't really date for a long time, like when I first moved out, because like I couldn't when I was shooting porn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, like to be honest, well, obviously, but like to be frank, you know, when I'm in a relationship, like when I'm in love with someone, I'm like kind of possessive. Like I'll admit that, you know, like I don't like to share, and like I'm very like protective when I'm in love with someone. And I knew that like if I was shooting porn as a job, even though it was a job, I knew that like I couldn't mentally like commit myself to someone, because like what am I gonna do? Like I gotta come home and be like, oh, how was work? Oh, it was good. I like took a dick up my ass. You know, and like I just knew like if they were comfortable with that, like it would make me feel weird, you know? So and like I couldn't date someone that was doing that. So I just like didn't get involved with anyone for years, actually, you know, and I just like it sucked because like I just really wanted like emotional connection, but I just knew that like I couldn't do that to someone, you know, because a lot of guys like they'll say, oh, it's cool, you know, but like I tried to like start to kind of see people, and then it would always end bad because they'd be like, oh, I can't fucking handle it. Like I'm, they're jealous. And I don't blame them, So yeah, it was weird for a while.
I would blame them because you knew what I was. When you met me, like, why did you lie to me and lie to yourself?
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I guess it's just, there's a part of me that like, I would want someone that's like possessive of me too.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, okay, well, if this person's okay, like with me having sex with other people, even though it's a job, it was just too difficult mentally, for me to do that.
It makes sense. Yeah.
No.
And also, like,
I was like, "Oh my god, I picked up a snake and it bit me. I can't believe it." Like,
yeah.
Fuck you
well, it's like
it's
like the joke I have about I was like I couldn't do it, date somebody in porn because like I used to date somebody who worked at Disneyland, and then and on her days off, she never wanted to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the other thing too. I guess like when I was active, like working, I just like I didn't care about like having sex, like because it was like I was doing it as a job,
right?
Like the last thing I really wanted was I just wanted to like chill like after that,
yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just like in my normal life, like I,
healthy,
like I'm not like a lot of it's like an illusion, like what you see on camera, what I mean?
Only psychopaths think that shit's real.
Yeah. Like I mean, so I don't know. It's been weird, but
did you ever, I have another porn related question. Did you ever do the conventions?
Yes.
Great question.
Because how awkward is that?
Oh my god.
Because I see like clips online and I see these fucking guys at this thing and I'm just like talking to the girls. I'm like, they're obviously like just faking this for them, but I'm like, what kind of fucking I don't. All right, what? No, fuck that. What kind of fucking losers going to these porn conventions to stand in line to meet their favorite porn star? You think she's gonna fall in love with you? You you want to meet her person?
I think that's what they think, Steve. I think that's what they think.
Go to her website, buy the porn, and just leave it at that. You fucking weirdo. I don't want to go meet Mr. Popeye because I like their chicken sandwich. I just buy the chicken sandwich and call it a day.
Seriously, it's funny you bring that up because like
a great question.
I mean, I worked a lot of different conventions, like mainly nutrition ones. I used to work a lot of tattoo conventions, but I remember like when I started doing those, it was like a easy way to like make money and like make connections with people. But like, my God, it's just so uncomfortable because like these guys think that like, oh, they can just like grab your ass, like it's okay. You know what I mean?
They fuck on camera all the time, so I might be able to. No, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, like I mean, it's definitely.
But I mean, what I mean, would you expect anything less from somebody who buys it like a porn convention?
No, that's what you say. Ew.
I know. No, seriously. I mean, that's like one thing. Like working in the adult industry, that's why like I don't really advocate it, and like I don't really even like I don't even really I don't even watch porn. Like I'm not even into it. Like and so it's just like it after like working in it and just seeing like how people are, it's really like brought out the worst in humanity. Like you just see like a lot of disgusting people and like some of the shit they say and like, oh, my wife's in the other room and like I have like 5 minutes. So let's do this. It's like Jesus Christ.
I worked on a movie, just it wasn't a porno. I worked on a regular movie that was about
that's
porn,
what they told you.
That actually had actual porn stars in it. I didn't know until the day I got hired. And it was just weird. Like I was wrangling the extras. So I had 50 extras, 25 were like small porn stars. And it was just like too much. Like you guys can like turn it off.
Yeah.
Why are you guys all naked? We're standing in a dirt pile. And I'm making sure you guys don't go to regular crafty. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are your tits out?
Yeah.
Like,
that was the most unsanitary crafty ever.
Oh no, they weren't allowed to craft at all.
Yeah, I mean,
like keep them away. Just keep them over here. We'll order them pizza. And I'm like, all right, I got it.
Yeah, but like I don't want to sound like some born again Christian or anything. No. But it's just like I really like after working in the industry, like can honestly say I think it's like caused a lot more harm than good. Like it's like created addiction and like these unrealistic expectations and it's just like people need.
Your dog's getting chased out front.
Oh, I know. There's another dog there.
Yeah,
people need to have self-control. No,
like, that's you want to go get it and we'll keep talking.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I think not just with porn, but like any kind of addiction. I think a lot of like the guys that go to the porn conventions to meet the porn stars, like they don't understand that it's not real. Like none of this is real. Like and they allow it to take over their lives, and it's sad, but fucking weird. Like, bro, go outside, go talk to a real person, take a shower first.
Yeah.
but
totally. I mean, it's like
first.
It's just like overstimulation, and like it is so addictive. Like and people don't realize that. It's just like take it, and especially like okay, like what really grosses me out.
God damn it! Sorry.
Is like people that are in relationships.
Yeah.
And like they're addicted to porn.
Together, or like somebody's addicted
or like the guy is, and then like, you know, he doesn't want to have sex with his girlfriend because like he'd rather jerk off and watch porn. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, should we bring up what happened to me? Or
we're at hours. Just got a hard out.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do it on the next one.
Yeah.
Well, it's not whatever. I just wanted to get your opinion on this. So I was seeing somebody that I had admitted to watching porn twice. She was like anti-porn, right? We were seeing each other pretty seriously, and then it was like she just got super insecure and was just like, have you been watching porn? I'm like, currently? Like, no, not right now. She was like, since I haven't been here. And I'm like, yeah, you weren't here for like a week. I watched porn like twice this week. And then she flipped out and broke up with me.
I mean, look, like, as a girl that's like been on the other side where like I've been insecure, and like, you know, it does hurt the ego, like as a female, to know that like, okay, if you're with someone and like he feels the need to do that, like, you know what I mean? Like it does, like, it does hurt the ego a lot, you know, especially when it's like, well, why can't you just have sex with me? You know, like, why am I not good enough?
But that's the
thing.
This
is where he's leaving out. They were together for 6 months. He didn't watch porn for 6 months. She was gone for like a week where she wasn't here. And in that week where she was gone, he jerked off the porn.
Yeah, I mean,
and everything before that, he wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
I mean, like, that like makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're just kind of like, okay, like this person's on here. You know, like I get it, but like, you know, I've gotten jealous personally about that shit. You know?
Yeah.
But like, so I understand where she's coming from, but I understand where you're coming from. You know, I just think it's like, as long as there's like if there's complete self-control, and like you know that like you're just doing it because like, okay, like I really
got to get one out.
Well, you know what you had mentioned was like, that's where my head was at the like when we first started dating. I was like, yeah, I get that. Like, you know, maybe porn's not the best thing for anybody, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, like I can give it up. And then like eventually I was like, wow, I'm here by myself. I'm bored. It was kind of that, you know, it wasn't like
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever, you know, like it happens. Like I understand like where you're coming from, you know, like I think it's really, the problem is like when guys like want to do that and they're with someone.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and
like
seeing
like,
no, yeah, totally.
Those are the same assholes who watch Fast and the Furious and like speed through cars on the freeway and then crash. Like, you know, that's not real, guys. It's not real.
Or those assholes who are in Fast and the Furious and then wrap themselves in a telephone
pole.
Okay,
let's go, everybody.
Yeah, I think it's just like I guess like what, like, psychologically for some people it's hard, like when they get jealous about that.
Yeah.
Which is like because like you're fantasizing about someone else, and like so it makes you feel like, oh, like you need to watch someone else to get off, and like you know, like I'm not good enough. So like I think that's where she was probably coming from, and yeah, like she was insecure, you know. But I mean, it's just one of those things. Like there's just got to be like clear communication and trust, and like, you know, and yeah.
All right. Well, we know you got to get out of here. I'm very happy you came. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
wait, hold on. We have one more. We have one question for you, actually, from the live stream. How do you feel about the whole OnlyFans trend in comparison to the porn industry?
So, okay. I mean, I actually I have OnlyFans, and I mean that's really the only thing like I do now. Like, and fortunately, like, because I did work in the adult industry, it like that the fan base and whatever has led me to having fans on OnlyFans where like I pay my rent that way, and it's like this residual income that just happens, and like
it's on your own terms.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm in control of the content, you know, and so like I like that aspect, and I think it's much better because like it allows the person to be in control of what they're doing, and they're benefiting from it entirely, you know. So like I think that's a very good alternative. Like, whereas, you know, how many companies like I worked for where like I just get paid one check and then I don't see any money for the rest of my life, and they just continue to benefit from those videos like forever, you know, but I don't see a dime from that. So like, you know, that's like a whole other ball game. There's like so much corrupt shit in the porn industry, but like OnlyFans like is good. Like as far as, you know, if someone wants to like have their own content and get money from that, like yeah, good for you, you know? I mean, so yeah, I mean,
cool.
I don't really see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it there. Right. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Garrett. Thanks, Famcast. Thank you, everybody who chimed in. Thanks, Gabriel. Scribble. Thank you, Felicity, for coming in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
This is a lot of fun. We'd love to do it again sometime. You're just up the street now, we know. So that's fantastic. This was a lot of fun. Thank you. I'm sorry, what's your dog's name again?
Felly.
Thanks, Felly, for coming. and pissing off my dog, Lemmy. So.
Lemmy. I love it.
All right. So that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And we're going to end the live stream right about now.